And welcome to the Redmen TV. It's daily news time. Three big stories today. First of all, we're going to be discussing Mamadou Sakho and whether he should be brought back into the Liverpool fold. Secondly, Youri Tielemans and whether we need to be looking at this 19-year-old. And Ryan Sessegnon, the left-back from Fulham, will be the third story that we're here to discuss. So I'm going to start off with Mamadou Sakho. Crystal Palace go and beat Arsenal last night. Another clean sheet for them. Arsenal fans up in arms again about Wenger out, or Wenger out, whichever you want to say. The big question for me right now is whether Liverpool should be bringing Mamadou Sakho back into the first team squad. Now, you know, I've got my own personal views on this, but this video is about what you guys think, to be honest, more than what I think. I think it's massively important. I want to get a feeling for what the fan base feels, and you know, I think we've all seen Crystal Palace and particularly Mamadou Sakho in their rise since he's got into the first team. You know, lots of clean sheets, he's playing well, he's looking classy on the ball, we know he's a good passer. And I just really want to question whether what we're looking at now is an asset that Liverpool have, essentially. Mamadou Sakho came out and said he'd happily come back to Liverpool if he was brought back into the fold. Now, should Liverpool be thinking about this? I mean, you know, we've made a recent move to three at the back. Now, it looks like it's more because of the injuries that we've had recently than any other sort of long-term plan. But, you know, is Mamadou Sakho a better centre-back than Dejan Lovren? These are the questions that Liverpool fans are asking themselves now. So use the poll in the corner of the video, please, and let me know whether you think Liverpool should be bringing Mamadou Sakho back in or not. A few sort of, I want to try and talk about both sides of the arguments, because it's very easy sometimes when you've got your own personal opinions to just ram them down someone's throat. And, you know, we've got a platform now where, unfortunately, we get to do that fairly often. And I think what I'm going to try and do is sort of, well, we'll start off with the, no, you shouldn't bring Mamadou Sakho back in. I think, you know, I'm going to try and argue both sides of this. So Dejan Lovren's playing well, but he admittedly, he misses a lot of games of football. You know, we know that Sami Hyypiä missed a handful of games over his almost 10 years or 10 years plus at Liverpool. Dejan Lovren, on the other hand, seems to be sick or something every single week. It's a knock, it's something like that. But when he's playing, he's a very, very good defender. And when he's playing simply, he's a very good defender as well. Sometimes he can overcomplicate things slightly and get himself into a sticky situation. But you know, him and Matip seem to have a good understanding when they're on the field. We secure more points than when they're not. Now, what we're looking for is defenders who can play in space, and I think that Joel Matip can do that. I think he struggled a little bit when he came back from his injury. Dejan Lovren equally is very fast he's very fast. He can get out to the wings if we're playing three at the back, or if the full-back's pushed up and he's playing four at the back, he can get out there and put some tackles in and kick the ball out, and that's really good to see. And, you know, he seems to relish that side of the game as well. So from one point, you've got a good centre-back pairing in Lovren and Matip. On the other side of it, you've obviously got the problems that Mamadou Sakho's had at Liverpool. Now, Michael Beale came out and spoke and said, like, Mamadou Sakho was a model professional, but I think especially with the tour stuff last summer, I think it was proven that Mamadou Sakho had some issues with Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp bombed him out of the squad, sent him out on loan, isn't happy with the way that he made the rest of the squad feel. I think, you know, that sort of one rule for one rule for another type of mentality that was almost aimed exclusively at Mamadou Sakho. So you've got the squad unity there. You've got a guy who has almost gone against that, if you believe reports. And, you know, you don't want to unsettle a squad. You don't want a bad apple in there. We know that we've had bad apples in the past. Mario Balotelli's the first name that springs to mind. So you've got that side of it. But equally, on the flip side, Mamadou Sakho's a very, very good defender. You know, he was part of that 13-14 side, did absolutely brilliantly. We know that he's a good tackler. He's good in the air. He likes to play short passes. He looks ungainly, but I don't think you can hold that against him, because ultimately it's about end product, and you can see at Crystal Palace that he's having end product. They're securing clean sheets now. I spoke a little bit earlier about whether you can play in space. Now, this is something that I personally don't think that is discussed enough when you're talking about centre-backs and centre-back pairings. I mean, it's very easy for me to look down the league and see a squad that is built on a side, particularly a first team that's built to not concede goals first and foremost. And I think if you look back at Sam Allardyce's career, that's something that he's very good at. Now, this utilises either a defensive midfielder or two shielding midfielders. right in front of the back four. Now, let's go back to Dejan Lovren when he was at Southampton as an example for this. Dejan Lovren had two defensive midfielders sat right in front of him. Wanyama and Schneiderlin would be those two midfielders, and they provide a really good barrier for your centre-backs. And I think Dejan Lovren looked incredible for Southampton because of that. And I think equally Mamadou Sakho's looking very, very good for Crystal Palace now because of that. Because there's a side, there's two banks of four that are supposed to not concede goals first and foremost. Now, Liverpool's tactics, we don't play like that. We play on the front foot. We play with bodies further up the field. Sometimes it can be 5, 6, 7 players up in there attacking third, and quite often that would leave the centre-back pairing on their own in space. And whether Mamadou Sakho is good enough or will look good enough when he's left out in that space is a question that Liverpool fans should be asking themselves. So, I've spoken a little bit about Mamadou Sakho. As I said, do use the poll. Let me know your comments by leaving a comment in the comment section below. That's a lot of weird comments, apologies. But you get my reasoning on this. I want to know whether you think ultimately Mamadou Sakho should be brought back into fold because he's a cracking centre-back, or whether you're on the side of, look, we've got Lovren, we've got Matip, we might need another backup or something, but for squad unity, we should probably leave Mamadou Sakho out of that. Let me know in the comments below. Moving on to Youri Tielemans, 19-year-old midfielder, plays for Anderlecht. He scored 18 goals and made 11 assists so far this season. He's capped twice for Belgium. Some big names interested in him. Probably the one that looks most likely isn't Liverpool. It looks likely that the 19-year-old will be moving to Monaco, but Liverpool are interested in him as well. So let me know if you think that could be a good move for Liverpool, one for the future. It certainly seems like one of those FSG type signings, and segueing nicely into another definitely FSG type of a signing would be Ryan Sessegnon. Fulham's 16-year-old left-back, playing football for them now. You know, this season he's been scouted by United, Chelsea, Arsenal, City and Spurs, as well as Liverpool. Now, the two big names in the running apart from Liverpool would be Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur. Now, this is a guy that Melissa Reddy from Goal, she's an incredible reporter. She's been on the show before. If you've not seen her work, go onto goal.com and check it out. She does some amazing interviews with Liverpool players, some amazing reports and articles about potential transfers and stuff. Now, she's mentioned that Ryan Sessegnon is seen as a long-term backup to James Milner. So could we see James Milner at left back next season and beyond, potentially, while we develop the likes of Ryan Sessegnon? Now, we know that Liverpool will be getting a transfer ban. This would be almost negated because Ryan Sessegnon will probably be offered a first-team contract, so we can get around it because of that. But this is a player who is well thought of in European football. It looks like he's going to be going on to be one of the stars of certainly of the Premier League and European football over the next few years. Look, 16 years old, he's got a bright future is what I'm trying to say, and very much an FSG type of signing. What would you rather see Liverpool do? Would you rather see them go in for someone like a Kolasinac or a Max Meyer or someone like that who can solidify that position now, with maybe the option of moving James Milner to a backup left back or also a backup midfielder and using him as a bit of a utility player? Or would you like to see James Milner being given another run at left back next season, another run at building that understanding with the centre backs, and maybe Ryan Sessegnon being brought in to sit behind him? Let me know in the comment section, of course. Don't forget to like the video. Please do that. We love a like. Absolutely love a like. And if you've not already, you need to subscribe to Redmen TV on YouTube. Why? Because we're here every day with news and content around the club that we all love. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'm Chris Pajak. This is the Redmen TV, and I'll see you on the next video.